All right, here we go, guys. Welcome back to
Sorry.
another episode of Dude Dads. This is episode number 2 today. We're fucking hammering them out today. Snow day. Kids are home. Wives are home. Tom should be out
Oh, they're
plowing.
fucking home today.
Tom should be out plowing. I should be out hunting. But no, this is when we had rescheduled. Pumped. Actually, we're pretty fucking privileged to have this dude jump on here. He's got his own podcast. You can find Man Up. Jake, the Mississippi Superman Reeves.
Come on.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on today, buddy.
What's up, guys? Thank you guys so much for having me.
Absolutely. I've kind of I've seen you in my algorithm over the years, or not years, I guess, for some time. But so I don't even remember what it was. Something caught my attention just like a couple weeks ago or something, and I was like, "Fuck! I think this guy, we could like jam with this guy. I wonder if he'll answer a DM." And sometimes I'm like, these guys ain't gonna fucking answer me. And you did, like, within hours.
You never know until you try, bro.
Right, dude. That's what we've been told.
If we lived near them, we'd be best friends.
Yeah, not for sure.
But what's funny was you sent it to me on TikTok. I think wasn't it TikTok?
Yeah.
And I have not had the TikTok app on my phone for like a year until about a month ago. Until very recently, I just re-downloaded it. So had you sent that DM 2 months ago, I would have never seen it.
Damn.
And then when you did, here we are.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty badass. So, so really today, man, I'd love to hear your story. I know you own, and is it MMA gym or just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, MMA gym.
Okay. All right. Awesome. And from there, you do your podcast, Man Up, and it's more like a fun project for you.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's majority of the time it's just you and your buddies drinking high noons and bullshit.
Or Mike's Hard Lemonade or shots of tequila. We started off, I'll tell you the truth behind the Mike's Hard Lemonade and the high noons, how that got started was we used to do shots at 1800, but 1800 didn't really want to pay us. And so I'm not going to be super brand loyal to somebody who's not giving me some money, I'll drink it on live, but I'm not going to be super brand loyal. So we were doing 1800s and we were getting plastered on these episodes. We drank a whole bottle in an episode. And then one day I was like, hey guys, cause I don't care. I'll drink a Mike's Hard Lemonade. I don't care if it's got sugar. If that shit tastes good, like a lot of people say it's like gay or whatever to drink alcoholic beverage that tastes good. And that makes no sense to me because we drink Sprites all the time and nobody says shit. Just because you drink a Sprite doesn't mean you're sucking dick. Okay. But if you drink a Mike's Hard Lemonade, which tastes the same, all of a sudden you're a pole smoker. And it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, this shit's just good. It just tastes good. Well, what happened was I got one and I started drinking it and I started talking about fighting or something and we turned it into a short. Well, my short started going viral because I was talking about fighting while drinking a Mike's Hard Lemonade. And it was just all these keyboard warriors talking shit. Look at this dude talking about being a man, drinking a Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah.
And my stuff just started blowing up. So I'm like, bro, until this stops, I'm drinking nothing but girly drinks on my podcast.
That's smart. That's very smart.
From now on.
Yeah. You should start icing everybody too.
Do people
with the Smirnoffs?
Do people give shit about high noons? Because I love high noons.
I don't think high noons are as big of a deal. I had to quit drinking the Mike's Hard Lemonade because legitimately they just make me feel like shit.
Oh yeah,
like
you only drink so many because
it's loaded with sugar.
Yeah.
I'm what like I just get hungover when I drink those. Like, I can do 10 shots of tequila and I'm good, but I can drink 4 high noons. And I will not be drunk. I won't feel the alcohol at all, but I'll be sick as shit. And so I don't drink them anymore. That's why I do the high noons because I can drink. Man, I can pound those things back, and I'm good.
I had a big old pineapple high noon at the Flyers game last night.
See, I want to call you guys. This is how we see it. Dude, right out of my feet and came up. I was like,
No, I prefer tequila too. I drink tequila, Patron, Casamigos.
Yeah.
Those like middle brand ones. I'll usually have a bottle of like Clase Azul on hand that I'll drink every once in a while, to sip through. That motherfucker's up to $225 now for a bottle of that. 2 years ago,
damn.
2 or 3 years ago was 180, and now it's at 225. I actually bought one for a gift for a buddy of mine, and I'm a realtor, and I told him. He's Mexican, and I was like, I'm gonna buy you a nice bottle of tequila as a closing gift. And I went to the liquor store, and She was like, yeah, 225. And I was like, holy fuck, man. I
Wow.
was like, this ain't even for me. I'm buying this from a buddy of mine.
Wow. Wow. So tell me
But
about your podcast. Like what's y'all's deal, man? What are y'all trying to do with it?
um, I mean, love to monetize it. That's our goal.
We'd like to make it so it's our life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
and then actually, have some, so we can help people and actually make some change.
no, so we started it just like dudes, you know, being masculine dads, right? And not having that be such like a bad thing. I know you agree that there's a big
Same my
deficit.
about really.
Yeah, there's a big deficit in masculine men
Yeah.
out there, right? And there's a whole slew of things that I think can be that is wrong with the world today because of it, and it's going to get way worse if it's not changed, right? And hey, look, we both have a son and a daughter. You know, my son is 6, my daughter's 10. Uh, Macon is 3, 4,
Just turned 4.
and hold on, let me see what this is.
So we just, yeah.
I think it was us.
And
So
you know, yeah.
this is
So and he has an Ellie's almost 2 year and a half, his
Mhm.
daughter. But it's like we're gonna raise our boys, that like it's okay to be men. Yeah, it's okay to fight.
The fuck is going on with this computer? This whole shit's fucking burning the whole thing down.
Like it's okay to fight. It's okay to be violent. It's okay to
what
do.
might be is he just hit the record button on our end too,
Okay.
so that if we want to take a clip out or something.
No, yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
That's what was popping up.
Yeah, that might
But
be it. Sorry.
and then with our daughters, it's okay to lean into a feminine role. It's okay to like
And
be a girl.
it's insane how both are so demonized. Like women are so pushed to be very masculine, be a girl boss, go be the CEO, put off, having children. Don't, and here's the thing, if you don't want to be a stay-at-home mom, I'm not saying you got to be a stay-at-home mom. That's not my message. But if you do want to be a stay-at-home mom, there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's not a bad thing. And if you want to be a feminine woman and follow and be submissive to your husband, or if you want to be like, I think that should be celebrated as much as anything else. And I think that's just as important as masculinity in men. Because I'll tell you, as a masculine guy, a lot of these women running around today, if I were single, I look at them, I'm like, bro, I would not marry you. Like it's just not what I'm looking for in a woman. Yeah. I like a very feminine woman. I like a woman to be a woman and act like a woman.
Yeah, that's it. Women are very good at being women. So why not just lean into that?
They
and
are
when
the
you
best
have one and the other, it's going to fuck up the dynamic.
Yeah.
You can't have both. And so you'll and again, I don't give a shit what anybody does or how they run their family. How I really don't.
Each their own.
This is just my own personal thing, right? But it will fuck up the dynamic, and you'll end up having a submissive person and a more dominant person, and it's not a bad thing. But now you're seeing more submissive men that aren't leaders, or men that have no capability of leading, being a real protector, right? Like, are these guys going to fight somebody? If somebody comes up and spits on your wife, are you going to fucking punch him in the mouth?
Can they change the tire?
Yeah, or that. Yeah, can you change a fucking
tire, dude?
Like guys calling AAA.
Like
what the fuck?
I want my daughter to be like, you can't change that fucking tire. Fucking dumping you.
Yeah,
I mean, like that's what I want her to be like. I don't want her to belong. I don't want her to have the sense of belonging to other groups. I want her to be like, I'll do my own thing. Fuck that. But while being a woman, like, yeah, but I still like heels. I still like him to open the door. But I don't need to belong to some feminist group. Like I just, I want her to walk her own path.
Yeah, I knew I said this on a podcast the other day. I did something right with my daughter because me, my son, and my daughter went into there's a convenience stores up here called Wawa. I don't know if you ever heard of a Wawa before. So we walk into the Wawa and the vestibule, the little airlock in the front, and my daughter was in front of us, and she gets to the door and stood there and waited for me to open it. And like she didn't look at me, she just stopped at the door and looked.
Just waited.
And I like reached around her and opened the door for her, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, Charlotte! Like you got it. That's she's 10, and she knows that's what's supposed to happen."
She's like, "Bitch, open that door."
I didn't tell her that. I didn't tell her this is what has to happen. I think she just so used to me or her brother opening the door for her. You know what I mean? And like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's women out there that'll say like, "I'll open my own damn door." You know?
I think that
That's
shows a
crazy.
man values. A
The
man
craziest
values a
thing is
woman.
the women who get offended when you open a door for them.
Yeah.
Like, I can open my own door. Don't open that door for me. Like, bro, why are you choosing to be offended right now? I
Yeah.
was because I'm in the South. I open the door for everybody. I open the door for dudes too. Like if I see somebody behind me, I'm open the door for them. An older
Mhm.
person, I'm open the door for them. Like that's just it's just how we do things. I'm sure it's the same up there. Like if I'm
Absolutely not.
open the door for everybody,
We live in the Northeast corridor. We're all assholes.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Like, go fuck yourself. You're 3 steps behind.
Yeah.
You smoke coffee?
And where are you guys at exactly?
Smyrna, Delaware.
Delaware. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
right below. We're right below Philadelphia. We're
Okay.
we're to the right of Baltimore.
I,
So we're
yeah.
tucked into all the major cities.
But our town is a traditional
Country.
agricultural
Yeah.
blue collar town,
Yeah.
I got
right? It's one of the few small towns left in Delaware that actually has community pride,
Yeah.
that actually has like
You come out to our football game.
Friday night
Yeah.
lights, and everybody's like, and not everybody, but the majority. It's one of the few left that actually, we take care of our own. It's nice to be around.
Yeah.
Big giant homecoming parades. Fuck, we have a parade for every goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Like, so it is nice. You know what I mean? But yeah, you can drive 45 minutes north and it's a completely different world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but anyway, so yeah, man, tell us about your story. Like, you obviously used to be a fighter to some degree, right?
Yes.
Was like UFC kind of like your goal?
At one time, yeah. I've told this story on my show a bunch. I started fighting when I was 17. Started training to be a fighter when I was 7. Well, I was boxing and kickboxing before that, but started training to be an MMA fighter at 17. That was the goal. Thought I was going to be world champion. I was wrong. I was not. Got my ass kicked a few times, and that's just part of fighting too. The biggest thing that drove me away from fighting was I kind of looked at what the guys at the top of the sport were making. And then I looked at where I was likely going to end up on the trajectory I was on. And so I was on path to be a gatekeeper for the UFC, probably. Like, I was going to be the guy that, like, okay, if you can beat me, you're probably pretty good. You probably are going somewhere. But I was never going to be the next George St. Pierre. I was never going to be the next Anderson Silva, And these are the guys that were big when I was fighting, I was never going to be that guy. And even those guys were making like less than $1 million a year. These guys were making, a couple $100,000 per fight, fighting a couple times a year, no real money in the sport. And so I started really looking at, after a couple key losses, and everybody that beat me went on to be pretty good, but I took some key losses and started like, what do I really want to do? What do I actually like about it? Because I don't want to fight for a living. Fighting for a living sucks. Like, it's not fun. I've got some friends that fight for a living. Like, my coach is about to fight Junior Dos Santos for the bare knuckle MMA heavyweight title in Orlando, and it's Alan Belcher, if you know who that is. And he was the bare knuckle anyway, but he bare knuckle boxing champion, and he fights for a living. And I look at that, and it doesn't look fun. Like, I've got to fight to feed my family. If I get hurt, something happens. But I really loved the gym, and I was like, man, if I could just make running the gym my full-time gig. So I went out on my own and completely failed, did terribly, had to move out of my house, moved. Oh, hey Mo, I lost camera, bro. Sorry about this guy, that guy.
Oh, you're all good, dude.
Moved out, had to move into my gym. Give us 1 second here. This isn't live, right? Y'all can edit this out.
Who cares? Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Fuck it. We go with the flow, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Weird. So anyway, spent about the last several years doing that, and I was successful with it, and nobody had ever done that because I'm in a really small town, a really poor town. I've got about 23,000 people in my town, but our average income is about $20,000 a year. It's a lower end, it's kind of like a little Memphis kind of rough.
Proper Mississippi town, you know what I mean? Just
yeah, it's kind of rough, but and everybody's like, man, you're not gonna make a go at this in that town. Like, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna have anyway. I was like, man, bullshit. watch me. So I did. And I felt like I'd proved everybody wrong. And then COVID hit and it really changed my perspective on the income that the gym was bringing in. Cause I was doing extremely well. I was doing really well, but it's like, man, this thing could get completely disrupted like that. Cause I was shut down for 2 months and, had no way to feed my family. And so I was like, man, I got to start thinking of other ways to make a living, to make money. And then, and so I started the podcast. I started a YouTube channel and just to work on some personal branding, get myself out there a little bit more. And then I got into real estate investment and I've been doing that for the last almost a year. Family business that I've sort of taken over and been buying out. And that's what I do now, man. I've really enjoyed doing the podcast and everything. It's, I've always had a lot to say, I've always had I like talking shit. I've always had a lot of opinions, as wrong as a lot of them might be.
Mm-hmm.
I still have them, you know what I mean? So yeah, fought for a long time, and I still fight occasionally, just because I enjoy it, honestly. I like fighting. I like the sport. I like the adrenaline rush. I like challenging myself.
Yeah.
I like the mental hurdle of dealing with the nerves and having to become the kind of person that can look those nerves in the face and tell them to fuck off and then get in there and be able to perform and do what I do. And so I really enjoy that challenge, but it's just not how I want to make my living. You know what I mean?
That. Keeping that wolf alive.
Yeah, you gotta stay,
Yeah. Oh, dude, you know how much I miss? Just like I love football, but one of the parts I wish I could just get in is a fucking kickoff. Just like, I'm about to fucking run through somebody's soul, fuck around and just find out down there.
And get on
just that emotions before, like, this is a fucking let a fucking. I'm just that I wish you can't. If you could sell that shit in a bottle, dude.
God.
Like a one-on-one, like if I could just I was running back, so like if I could just run through the hole and see somebody step the fuck up, just like bring that, come through this. I dare you come through that fucking hole. I wish I could. So at where you're at, so what kind of fight are you able to get into? Like what kind of sanction or like what level? Like how do you jump into a fight now?
Oh, you just hit I fought MMA for the majority of my time. I box mostly now. I've had hip and knee surgeries and I have not felt comfortable wrestling and kicking. So most of the time I'll just box professionally. You get licensed through the state and
so you're not like calling people out to your gym. You're actually going and getting to a fight.
Yeah, it's a real fight. Yeah. Okay. It's a real fight. It's a real fight. You can we could actually pull up my last fight if we wanted to.
That's awesome.
And show it. I but about a year ago.
That's cool. I like that you're still like staying in that, man.
I do think there's something to be said too for fighting just as a workout, right? Because there is something in us primal that we've kind of got to fight, and there's some hormonal shit that happens inside you when you get into regular fights. And so our buddy my Tristan, he fights, or he just does it for working out, really, just in a lot of kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Lost you again.
Yeah. Oh,
but he
come on, Mo.
But he talks about, and I see it too. I mean, well, one, it's a fucking ridiculous workout. But just that there's a primal instinct in a man that comes out when you fight, right? And then what does that do to us internally that you can't see, right? Like I said, the hormonal stuff, there's something to be said for that. And then just obviously the preparation too. Every man should have the capability to fight. I think I've heard you say this on one of your clips I saw. It's like, if you don't know how to fight or aren't prepared or aren't willing, then like, what the fuck are you doing as a man?
You need to be able to step over that line real fast.
Yeah. And because I like,
I'm not trying to wait to find the fuck out. I'm like, I'll take over this real quick.
No, and I want, I going back to our kids, like I want someone like that for my daughter. Like if some shit pops off, like I'm not there. You got to take care of her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Someday it's not going to be daddy. Someday it's going to be some other dude. And it can't be some guy that half squats and is afraid to get in a fight. You know what I mean?
I make all my daughter's boyfriends fight me. It's on YouTube.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, my daughter's boyfriends. One of the prerequisites if you want to take my daughter on a date is you got to get in the cage with me for a round.
I fucking like that.
Dude, how old's your daughter?
She's 16.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah, so she had
Oh
a
yeah.
little skinny boy. I mean, you just got to at least show me that you're willing to do it. You don't have to win because you're not gonna win. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a professional fighter. I've been doing this for 15 years. I'm 6'3", 250 pounds. Like, bro, you're not like I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, but you got to show me like you're
Some
willing
dog.
to get in that cage. Show me some nuts that you're willing to get in, even with boxing gloves on, bro. And hey, man, what are you doing over there, Mo?
Mo, what the fuck, bro? We need Mo for us. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking
man.
about?
Dude, what a phenomenal idea. I don't fight. I should get it. I should get
Nah,
it.
fuck that. You fucking start fighting her boyfriends right now. I'm
I
fucking
should
filming that
Yeah, I
shit.
need to mix that in.
I mean, fucking backyard dates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Man,
Like, you want to take her to
love that.
homecoming? Meet me in the backyard, bitch.
Dude,
Hey, I went kind of light. As a matter of fact, hey Mo, when you get this worked out, you want to pull that clip up of me beating up Jonathan? I can pull up the clip of me actually fighting my daughter. It's on my YouTube channel. So
Really?
yeah, I posted, and they're broke up now, and now she's dating a guy that is one of my assistant instructors here at the gym. Who's
So how did he get permission or ask permission, or how did he walk about that?
the instructor? Oh, he was very very respectful. He came to me and was like, hey, and we may lose video for a second. He's pulling up our YouTube channel. I'm going to show it to you. But he came to me and was like, hey, would it be okay with you? You know, me and Maddie have been talking. They've been friends since they were like 7 years old, you know, like they've known each other forever. He was like, would it be okay with you if I took Maddie out on a date? Would it be okay with you if I started talking and seeing Maddie? And I was like, yeah, man, that's cool. Like y'all can date. Like, I mean, she's 16. She's going to date somebody. I'd rather it be somebody like him. He's a super respectful, nice kid, you know. But you know, as a father of a daughter, I'm never really going to trust anybody. You know what I mean? Yeah. At the end of the day, we were all boys one time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know what the deal is. Mm-hmm. So, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask Mo, is that the clip of we got one where I made him do jujitsu with me for a round and box with me for a round.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Just to like let him know I'll fuck him up anywhere. That's one of them right there. We'll watch that one first.
Dude, that's phenomenal. I gotta think of something like that I could do with Charlotte's boyfriend.
Yeah, well, he and I both say we'll welcome boyfriends into our lives. We don't want to treat him like an asshole. We want to get them who he is.
But I want to see that, like,
yeah,
that's it right there. That's the boxing round, Mo. I want to see that you're willing and able to, you know, handle the business when it comes time to it. Because I've got to put the trust of my daughter's safety in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
If you're leaving the house with my daughter, I've got to put her safety in your hands and know that you're gonna take care of her. That she's gonna be safe. So
right.
And if it means that much to him, he's willing to take that fight with you.
Right. And if it doesn't mean that much to him and he's not willing to take that fight with me, then he ain't the right dude for my daughter anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
how does when this rule came about, or even now that it is a rule, how does your daughter take that? Was she like, oh fuck, come on, Dad? Or does she like it?
She hasn't given me any resistance
pushback
at all. No pushback at all. Like it's just kind of understood. I've told her that her whole life that, like, okay, if you're gonna date a dude, he needs to be able to show me that he can take care of you. So
she's known as a girl in school that you gotta fight her daddy. Like there's like, you know, there's like the farmer's daughter, and then there's like, yo, you gotta fight his dad or her dad.
Yeah. Yeah. And she was already known as that because I mean we're in a small town and I'm fairly well known in our community. Like
it's kind of a big deal. You know what I mean?
So there was actually a boy who kind of threatened her at school one day. And the thing about it is I taught kids for a long time. And so a lot of kids she goes to school with, I taught when they were kids. And so this other kid like walked up to the guy, was like, hey bro, look, dude, like he was like talking trash to my daughter. He's like, you don't want to do that. Like her dad will kill you, bro. Like that's not some, and because this kid this kid is beating the shit out of everybody in school in bathroom fights because he trained with me when he was a kid. Yeah. And so now he's telling these other kids like, hey bro, you got to leave her alone. Like for real. leave her alone. Like it's gonna be bad. You got that pulled up, Mo? Y'all want to see it?
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
fight about our boyfriend.
Hell yeah.
Let's pull it up. All right, there it is. So we got audio.
I can throw it.
I feel like I'm about to watch a Kimbo Slice fucking backyard brawl.
We're doing it official. Okay.
All the rules are on me. 2 standing 8s, and you're out for the round. Go to the corner I designate and break when I tell you.
I'm
Any
not
questions?
throwing super
Any
hard here.
questions? No rabbit punches, no kidney punches.
Can you hear the audio from the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fighter ready?
Yes, sir.
Fighter ready?
You got a man bun on?
Go.
Keep your hands up.
Okay.
Yeah, give me every 30-second call.
Keep those hands up, maybe when you throw, keep your hands up. Drop the hand. Put your hands up.
This is going after you.
I can't punch it, so.
Oh yeah. So the rule was for the first 30 seconds, I'm not allowed to throw a punch.
Oh, okay.
They're trying to make it even. And he's like, all right.
Dude, I mean, your set was bigger
He
than
can all he wants, but I'm not allowed to actually throw a punch. Can you pull back? Can we pull back before I can see them?
You got everything. You got everything, John.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay.
Keep your hands up.
Now I can go.
Oh,
Let's fuck him up with the jab.
You're right. I'm going to your left.
You all right?
Right hand on.
he don't want no more.
Right hand on. I don't know.
Come on. You're
Appreciate
taking
you
us
every
fake
30 seconds.
timeouts.
All right, so now I can only throw my right hand.
You're right. Don't throw to the power. You're right. You're right.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. Yes. Oh, you're actually hitting them. I love it. I fucking love it.
Right.
Oh, don't turn your back.
Watch your back punches there.
On our back. On our back.
This is fucking awesome.
Did it.
Hooks on.
Now I can only throw hooks.
Either hand?
Either hand. Hooks only.
Oh. Oh, goodness gracious.
No.
Dude, he's questioning everything about his life.
Yeah,
Do
well,
I even really like this girl?
I'm gonna say, like at this level of him not participating, like you can't date my daughter, dude.
It's on the volume for YouTube.
Jabs only.
I think the last 30 seconds I can actually for real box with him. And I had,
Okay.
I had
That's
to,
a nice little warm up. You know what I mean? Like, you can't hit him for 30 seconds and it's only a jab and only a right.
yeah.
You know,
And I'm
he's
not
warmed up
throwing
now.
Real power here. You know, I'm just kind of popping him, letting him know I'm there.
Just let him know.
But you got
let me
massive
know, like-
gloves on. It's not like it's little 4-ounce gloves.
Right. Yeah, these are big 16-ounce
Look at
gloves.
the size of
Big
his
sparring
arm.
gloves.
That's his fucking arm, dude.
One. This one. Fighter next one. 2.
Oh man,
Oh, that's phenomenal, dude.
This is the rule. This is the rule. If you want to date my daughter, this is it.
I
And my
love that.
They're
man.
watching that. She's laughing. You know.
Dude, I'll wait till
All right, you can cut it.
Dude, guys, you listen to this. He is fucking him up.
that's fucking great, dude. I didn't.
But yeah, I think it was the perfect level of power. Like, you could obviously crush that kid in half, and it was just enough to make it real for him. You
It
know?
could have been a 10-second knockout. I mean, I never really hit him at all. It was just enough where it's like, okay, you feel what I can do. You feel like, because I mean, obviously with my size, the power is there, but I want to show you the speeds there. I'm faster than you. You know, I can hit you. You can't hit me. You know, I want to but also, so it's like a respect thing. Like, okay, you need to treat my daughter with respect, but then at the same time, I need to see that you're not a pussy. You know, like,
And also you're helping that kid. Like, that kid's learning something there. Like, a man to man there, and he might not realize it then. He might say, fuck, man, I just got to do this for this girl's dad, just so but someday in his life, hopefully sooner or later, he's going to be like, God, that was a dude. He really taught me something there. And here's what I took from that. And you're making your community better by you're essentially help in that little tiny 30 seconds or minute, whatever, you're help raising that boy up.
He learned his place in the food chain very quickly. So
That's
he might be out with your daughter not talking shit stupidly. You know what I mean?
right. Because
but also he might realize, you know what? I I can fight. It's a getting punched in the face ain't the end of the world.
In the world.
You know what I mean?
Really not. Honestly, body shots suck way more than getting hit in the face does.
Fuck
Getting
yeah.
hit, bro. I've had one person that hit me so hard that I was like, fuck this. But other than that, I've had a couple guys in sparring, some heavyweights. I've talked about on my show, and he's actually coming on as a guest on my show on the 28th. Eric Anders, he's in the UFC now, and he used to play middle linebacker at University of Alabama when he was on the 2009 national championship team. And when I fought him on 2 days' notice at heavyweight. He outweighed me by like 30 pounds, and he beat the shit out of me, dude. He beat my ass like I stole something from his grandma at church. Like, it was ridiculous, you know. But normally you get hit, it's like you don't even really, you feel being tired a lot more than you feel the punches. You feel the exhaustion. You feel like, oh my God, I don't want to be here anymore. The mental battle is really the battle when you're in the fight. But every once in a while you get somebody that can thump. And
do you get pushback, or did you meet his father, or like get any feedback after it happened, like with his parents?
not after, but before. His dad came in and signed a waiver.
Okay.
And that was one of the things. If you're gonna do this, I got to have a waiver, and I got to have a parental signature on the waiver.
So, and what was his attitude towards it?
He was good. He thought it was great. He thought he was 100% with it. And again, though, if you don't, that now I see, okay, me and your parents don't have a similar worldview, which means me and you probably aren't going to have a similar worldview.
Yeah.
Which means, like, do I really want you raising children with my daughter? If
you don't have the pedigree that you're looking for.
Right. Like, you're not the person who needs to join my family. Now, there may come a day my daughter marries some, fingernail painting fuckboy that I hate, and he just refuses to get it, but she loves him, so she sneaks around. I can't control that. Yeah. But right now, at 16 years old, I can. And like, I'm looking for a certain type of person and a certain type of family. And that relationship didn't work out. They're no longer together. Like I said, she's with a new guy now, and I beat the shit out of him all the time. You know? Like,
I think you're not making it impossible for her to date where she's going to resent you and then try to date someone the opposite just for the hell of it. So I think you're showing the respect and how much it means. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not like going out there just being an asshole, like, you ain't fucking date my daughter, let me beat a kid up. You know what I mean?
No.
You can absolutely, and then once you're dating my daughter, you're welcome to come to the house with supervision. Now, you're not going up in the bedroom, you're not closing the door, nothing, none of that.
We do. Remember we talked about that, and I sat here and said, like, do I have to? It was an awkward conversation. Like, damn, I know what I did in other people's houses. I'm like, do I let kids, like, essentially what do I let my daughter do in my own house?
Not what they let you do. That's for damn sure.
I know what the fuck I did. I'm like, I don't know how to walk around that.
Even if I'm in the room, you ain't sharing covers, bro. You know what I mean? Like, because I know what I did in front of dads.
I know. I was bad. Fuck. I got called. My first girlfriend, I got called. Her mom called us on the couch.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah, twice.
And I was like, oh man, I just think about all the things I did. Like, they would let us go down the basement. I'm like, I can't let her go down the basement. I can't do it. I can't do it.
We're just watching a movie.
There's no unsupervised at home time with my daughter. My daughter goes out on dates alone occasionally, but usually, like, I'm not far away. Like, I'm not there. We have not got to the stage where he's picking her up and taking her out and bringing her home. It's at the stage right now where it's like, okay, y'all are going out on dates, but, like, it's not chaperoned, but we're nearby. Like, we're not just letting y'all out on the town. We're not quite ready for that. And we'll get there. We'll get there. And the thing is, if they want to do stuff, kids find a way, but I'm not going to make it easy.
Well, hell no. I just noticed that thing turned off. Just want to make sure it's
it got the heat up.
Oh man. No, that's and the fighting thing, I've seen it with my son is 6, and this is his second year of wrestling. And watching his growth over the past year.
He's trying to fucking flex on us, bro. Let me get my fucking suspenders going, bro. You know what I mean?
But yeah, like I watched my son go from being real nervous and scared and not wanting to wrestle in tournaments, and then a year later, he's a completely different kid, and his confidence on the mat, and I've told someone this recently. I like it more when he loses and keeps fighting, or if he comes off the mat after getting his ass whooped and he's not crying. Like I'm happier about that than him just pinning a kid in 7 seconds because I know what's happening. I know he's growing and he's toughening up. And I'm sure you've been to youth wrestling tournaments before.
Never
Every
really,
kid is fucking
Mississippi is one of the only was the only state until recently that had zero wrestling. We had zero
really.
What the
in
fuck?
Mississippi until now. So Brian Fox and the guys in Tupelo got it going, and now there's like 3 or 4 teams in the whole state. Ocean Springs had a team, and they competed in Florida and Louisiana, I think, but because they're down on the coast. But no, the state of Mississippi had no wrestling. I've never been to a wrestling tournament.
Wow.
No.
Dude, if you don't know how to wrestle in this town, all you gotta do is listen to the crowd. They'll tell you every fucking they'll tell you every fucking move you need to make, dude.
Did you guys
No,
wrestle?
but like he yeah, like the crying in the kids, like because there's a lot of emotion in it. Like not only is it painful, you're getting you're getting your forearms or someone's putting their forearm in your face or whatever, you're getting choked, in a headlock. It's pain, but it's also a lot of it is emotion too. They've just wrestled their ass off for 3 minutes and all that emotion surges when it's all done. And the little kid doesn't know how to handle that, right? So then to see him when they start learning how to handle it and like fight through it, or like the nerves, like you talk about, and like I'm proud of because you can't hide in a fight. You can't. It's you and one other person. Your nuts are out. It's not like, and I'm a football guy. That's all I played. That to me, that's the best sport there
I
is.
was
But
fighting. I was a football guy.
what's that?
Me too. Before I got into fighting, I was a football guy. I was a defensive
Yeah,
end.
but I'm starting to see like, damn, you can't hide behind a team. There's nobody to blame. There's nothing. You're just out, and every mistake or every positive thing you do, we all see. And to like push through that, there's just a lot of good lessons in there. It's not just like any sport. It's not just the wins and the losses. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he'll stick with it. Right now, he's doing really well, I think, especially in a year's time. But I'm glad he's fighting. Huh?
How old is your son?
6.
Oh yeah, he's young. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He started at 5. So yeah, he's still a novice. He's still a novice divisions, but we put him in a lot of open tournaments. So he gets to wrestle advanced kids, kids that have been wrestling since they were 3, or they have 70 matches under their belt. And, he's got like 10, you know what I mean? So he goes in there and gets his ass whooped. But then when he goes to novice tournaments, he's doing really well. You know what I mean? Because he's used to fighting guys that are a little bit stronger than him. You know what I mean? So I hope he sticks with it.
There's things I learned from football that I didn't learn from fighting. There's things I learned from fighting that I couldn't learn in football. So one thing that I learned in team sports was how to gel as a team, how to put differences aside for the sake of a mission, for the sake of a goal, how to be mentally tough, and also I think it's also important to learn how to lead, learn how to give strength to other people. Like when it's summer 2-a-days and you're in your afternoon, we're at a 4 p.m. practice and it's 106 degrees outside and you're practicing full pads in your second practice of the day and you vomited 6 times and so is your partner, and now y'all are running wind sprints to finish practice up. There's an important lesson to be learned by grabbing your partner, like, hey man, we got to finish these. Come on, let's go. Come on. We got 3 more to go. We got 5 more to go. We can't quit. Let's go. Let me pull you along with me. And then there's also some value in not having someone else to think about, because I gained a lot of strength from that. I was a leader. Like I was I was an on the field leader. I was the guy that get in your face a little bit and do the pregame speeches and stuff. But there's also some value to like, hey man, it's only me. It's just me in there. There's nothing to hide behind. There's no breaks. And that's one big thing from football to MMA was the breaks between plays that I got to kind of, after a bad play, to sort of recoup. Like, okay, I blew my assignment that play. I was defensive end and my main job was outside containment. Okay, maybe I lost outside containment. Maybe I didn't cut him back in to get some help from my linebackers or whatever. I made a mistake. I got overzealous trying to get the quarterback and I got burnt, whatever the case may be. But I get that having that little bit of time in between the plays where I'm like, okay, take a deep breath, blow it out. Let's get back to work. Whereas in a fight, you make a mistake and you got somebody on top of you punching and you don't have that. It's like, I gotta rally while getting punched in the head and, get my legs back between me and him and fight back to a better position so that I can take it. Fight. You got to fight to get to that position where you can kind of, okay, let me recover. Let me take a second here and let me get. And so I've learned really valuable, important lessons in both sports, and they're different. Like I miss football, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could go back and play just one more game, man,
Let me just run through a hole. Let me just let somebody just step the fuck up. Oh my god.
Well, that's
I say that every fucking time. Let somebody step the fuck up. God,
I think that's
darn
why
it, I
we
missed that, dude.
that's why we coach too, right? So I started coaching. My son played Pop Warner football. We're a big football town too. I mean, we run similar offenses at a 6U Pop Warner level all the way up through middle school, all the way up to the high school. And
Good.
there's a lot of pride in that. You know what I mean?
I coached this last year too. I coached my son's 7 and 8 year old team. We were
Yeah.
all
See, and it does scratch the itch. You know what I mean? It scratches the itch a little bit, getting these boys fired up. And by the end of the year, these first timers and these young kids that these, like, my boys would do anything for me. If I ask them to do something, they will do it. They will run through brick walls for me.
When you see them sell out, you're like, fuck yes. Like
Yeah.
that. Oh my gosh. It's the best when they sell out for you.
So how old are your boys?
I've got a boy who got one that just turned 6. Well, I turned 6 in September. One that just turned 8, and then I've got a 16-year-old daughter. So I've got 2 young ones and then an older daughter, and they both play football. My older one is eat up with it, man. He is, he loves football more than anything. He likes jujitsu. He likes training. He likes boxing and kickboxing, but he loves football.
That's awesome.
Eat up
What
with it.
position does he play?
He plays a little bit of center. Because
He's big. He's big like you?
He's gonna be bigger than me. My wife is about almost 6 foot tall, and I'm 6'3", and everybody, like, I go to her family reunions and I'm like one of the shorter guys there.
Oh shit.
Like, she's got cousins that are like 6'7", 6'8", big dudes, but they're not athletes. But I'm hoping that my athletic genes will mix with those big genes.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a D1 baby, Yeah. But I'm
That's what everybody hopes for, right? Goodness gracious.
And then my other son, he's tall and lanky, but yeah, Sawyer's big. Sawyer looks like he could be 10. So he plays a little bit of center, but he's lean. He's not fat. He's just lean.
Yeah.
He's tall, lean, and big. So this year he played a little defensive tackle, played a little bit of defensive end. He played a few positions this year, got moved around a little bit, had some bad snaps. We were running out of the shotgun, and we had some bad snaps and struggled a little bit. He didn't really want to play center, so we moved him around, put him on defense, and but he had a good year. I mean, he had a good year, but we went like 1-8 this year. It was
That's fucking tough, dude.
Ooh.
That's a tough sell, man.
Yeah.
My first year of college, we went 2-8, and like after so many losses in a row, it is tough to get everybody going. It's like,
play.
I played in a school called West Liberty. It's in West Virginia, little D2 school.
Yep.
And but yeah, my first year.
Football at any level is tough. I mean, you got to be an athlete, bro. Like, at any collegiate level, I don't care if it's JUCO, doesn't matter.
Yeah, dude, that's what. And when you see,
it was mixed with all kind of fucking athletes, dude. There's a lot of athletes with bad grades.
Yeah.
You ever watch the show Last Chance U on Netflix?
Oh yeah.
So that was originally based in EMCC. That's where we are.
Okay.
So that's the community college for my area.
What's the crazy coach's name?
I don't remember his name.
The fucking hollering at everybody. He's from what's he from? Detroit or some shit. Like he's fucking
really aggressive and
yeah, dude, rubbing everybody the wrong way.
Yeah,
but the only person willing to take it, willing to make that shit happen now.
Yeah, about 30 minutes from here, so it's like right up the road, and we're about an hour from Tuscaloosa. So like we got University of Alabama right up the road. We got Mississippi State about 30 minutes up the road, and then we've got EMCC, and so football is huge. Football is huge down here. College football, especially. It's like my son cried his eyes out when Nick Saban retired, bro. Like it was a big deal,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's JUCO around here is all D1 guys. It's all D1 guys that are just stupid. Just didn't have the grades. It's all. I mean, if you get on at EMCC, I mean ICC, some of the other ones aren't quite as much, but dude, EMCC is like the JUCO around here is very, very competitive.
I always went to a JUCO college. It was called Lackawanna. I always went to that. Lackawanna, somewhere down south, I think. Yeah, I almost went there because I made a mistake of thinking grades didn't matter, and they fucking matter for sure. I'll never forget when fucking Northeastern called my phone, and he was like, "Son, you know what Northeastern is?" I was back in my head. I was like, "Yeah, school I ain't never making it into."
I wasn't that good, man. I was slow. I had a bad car accident when I was 16. I was in a 69 fastback Mustang doing about 120 miles an hour on a back road and racing and wrecked and no seatbelt on, hit a tree head on.
Oh
And
fuck, dude.
my left leg. And so my football, I really honestly probably shouldn't have been fighting either. But I still can't run. And with the cold weather, man, I'm limping around,
Yeah.
still I've got really bad. There's no cartilage left in it. And so my football, I could have done a little something before that. And I still played. I finished my high school seasons out, went undefeated my senior year. We won our little small school. We won our little state, conference championship.
Yeah.
But yeah, my chances of doing anything beyond that were pretty limited. So
What's your let's talk about the real estate. So you said you're buying into your a family business?
and we do real estate investment. Yeah, we do commercial and residential real estate. We manage our own property, and then we also flip houses just to make a little extra money.
Yeah.
And, so that's my day gig. My day gig is matter of fact, when I leave here, I'm probably going to go work on some busted water lines.
Okay.
So it's just kind of whatever needs to be done.
Are you guys, so you guys just like buying and holding a lot with the investment side?
Yeah, we do. We buy. Like I say, we do it. We've got a lot of single family homes, but we got a lot of commercial property.
Yeah.
So gotten more into the commercial over the last year or two, few years.
Yeah.
And so just really, if I find an asset that'll make me some money,
Yeah.
I usually buy it and try to make some, get some cash flow off of it.
Yeah. That's where we're at with my wife and her partner. They own a roofing company, and to meet another guy that are the husbands. But yeah, we are looking to buy, like, that's all we call it, Roof It. That's the company name, but we're really joking, call it Invest It, because we're just going to buy commercial properties. We actually put an offer in one on 300, but it was zoned commercial regionally, but it was still residential. And the engineering plans, I mean, it didn't work out. But yeah, we want to start buying more commercial because our town is blowing the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I used to ride a dirt bike to high school, and that I didn't get bothered. I used to ride that motherfucker and park it right in the auditorium. That was a thing here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now you got everybody for PA, Jersey, and New York moving to this motherfucker, and it's just blowing up every night. So there's only so many commercial spots left that are still cheap, perception wise. But like, if you can get them now, there's only something left, and like, you'll be holding on to something later. It's like, damn, I can't believe you bought there.
Yeah.
We're also we're both real estate agents too.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie, I got pissed like a motherfucker. I
Yeah,
drank
go
too
for it.
much shit. You know what I mean?
I do real estate full time. Yeah, real estate agent. He holds his license, does his construction stuff, and kind of helps that out. Each one. But I actually just bought my first long term rental.
Yeah.
In December. One property. It's got 3 units on it. Paid cash for it, and it was just because, like, man, real estate slowing down. I got some cash. I want some income from this, so made this investment. So it at least pays all my bills. You know what I mean?
That one property pays all your bills?
Yeah, because it's got 3 units on it.
Three
So
units pays all your bills? Holy shit, that's awesome.
yeah, so it was kind of like one of those things where it was off market. Somehow I fell into it, and I just didn't think too much about it. I just said fuck it and pulled the trigger.
Wow.
And it's scary as shit. You know what I mean? Especially when, like, I think the first day I bought it, the closing was like, I don't know, 4 or 11:30 in the afternoon. At 4 a.m. the next day, I had a text message that, like, the heater was out in the one house. I was like, oh, this is fucking fun. But whatever, you know what I mean?
Occasionally they're paying the ass. But the thing about it is the thing about real estate and just moving to an investment portfolio type income or an investment type income as opposed to an earned income, you're never really going to have a lot of money. You're never really going to be financially free as long as you're having to work for your money.
Yep.
It's just as long as you got to go to work every single day to make the money that you live off of, the money that to feed your family. You're never financially free if you got to go, because anything can happen. You can be in a car wreck. You can, need surgery. You can, whatever. There's a million things that can happen. You can be out of work tomorrow. Another COVID can happen. You can have another, some other pandemic. Who knows? But as long as your income is linked to the time it takes you to earn it, you're never going to be financially free. And for me, it's not necessarily about being wealthy. It's about financial freedom. It's like, I want to make massive amounts of money that's not linked to me going into work every day and punching the time clock.
That's where I'm at in my business, making sure that my income is spent well on being residual income. Stop looking at it as like, because I'm in construction, so it's easy to just be like, all right, let's get on the next job, let's get this money, and then you look back like, where the fuck's that money at? So like being very intentional about getting these properties.
And if
I ain't got no retirement, huh?
Are you managing like a crew?
No, it's just me. I got 3 guys that I use. But that's it, man. It's small, but I mean, like we live in a place where
if you're good at it and you don't hate doing that kind of work, why wouldn't you get into real estate?
that's yeah. I have it all vacuumed for it. Like then my next step, I got to face a fear myself is I need to start flipping houses.
Yeah.
I've done it for other people. I've sold them from other people, and I'm like, man, it's my turn. Like I'm so well connected. Like I don't need a contractor to come in here. I'm like, I do shit myself and me and my crew and knock this bitch out. So I can find value where other people cannot because of the the advantages I have. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to be now just more intentional about that. And
is your investment opportunities in your area drying up a little bit?
Honestly, not really.
No,
really, no. If anything, I think it's getting better because the market was so hard and the prices in this area got so high. It got to where there was no cash flow in anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so we really weren't buying anything, and the prices on everything, the numbers just really weren't there, and so it was hard. I grew up doing it, so my parents did it, and so but from the time I was about 12 years old ish, if I wasn't in school, I was at work with my dad. I started working when I was 6 because I grew up on a dairy farm, and we raised all kind of different animals and whatever. But from around 12, my dad started doing real estate. And so every day I went to work and I was swinging hammers and putting in HVAC systems and, patching roofs and basically learning how to do anything that needs to be done.
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't enjoy it. I don't want to start a construction company at all. Fuck that shit. Mm-hmm. But so more power to you, brother.
I do. There's plenty of days where I'm like, fuck, man. Yeah. I'm very unemployable though. So,
but I can do it. I know how to do it. And for the most part. And so I did that for a long time. And for around here, though, the market has kind of gotten to a point where it's kind of stuff starting to come back down a little bit. Like, there was times not that long ago. If I went and put in especially if something was on the MLS, if I put on an offer on something, if I wasn't like, I put on an offer on a fourplex and I think I went 15, 20,000 over asking and didn't get it.
Yeah, that was normal around here too. We're talking like 40 grand over. People, do you remember people? Dude, the craziest ones to me were people already knew they were overpaying by, let's say, 50 grand on some of these really nice homes, and then paying the appraisal gap because they wasn't going to fucking appraise for that. And they're like, we'll pay the difference. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I'm like, in Smyrna, I'm like, this bitch ain't that special.
Yeah.
We had a lot of real money moved down here. A lot of people sold. Like a lot of older folks sold their houses up in like New York and Jersey and sold them for $1 million and came down here with like, I'm just like, yeah, we'll buy that cash right now.
Yeah.
Our median here is like high 300s.
Okay. Way above us.
Oh, really? Sounds like I need to start investing in Mississippi.
Yeah. I'll tell you one that I just did. I'm finishing up one right now. I bought it for 70, 75. I think I put about 20, probably be about almost 25 in it before I'm done, and then I'll sell it for about 130, 140. Trying to get
That's it. That's crazy, dude.
You can't buy shit for 140 here.
Dude, you can't,
there's nothing.
I've been turning down people that have $1,000 a month and I can't get you a house here.
No.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's why renting is so big now. That's what I'm like, fuck, man. I need to start just like flipping houses for myself just to get renters in them because the people can't afford this shit.
It's getting harder to find houses under 200 around here. Most of the houses on the market are over 200. And so what I do is I go and find some of these, maybe houses other people might try to rent out, but I find some of these houses and I I flip them, and because I'm selling houses in that 100 to 150 under $200,000 range,
Yeah.
they move. So
Like that first home buyer kind of house.
Yeah, there's no shortage of buyers on in that end, like in
Yeah.
that budget. You know what I mean? You can get too high, and of course it'll sell. It'll just take longer, and you're gonna need to find a different buyer. But yeah, like here, if you have a house that's nice and it's priced in the low 300s, maybe even just in the high 200s, like it will sell immediately.
It's going ASAP.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you
Because
can't,
right down the street, the houses, you'll see a sign starting at 600,000. I'm like, the fuck?
yeah,
See,
and it
that's,
ain't nothing special.
if you
And
talk,
their house broke. I go in them. Their house broke. I go in there and I'm like, they're like, can we do the basement? I'm like, okay. And I give them the price. Like, we can't afford that. I'm like, you got a $600,000 house? Yeah. What the fuck did you think this basement was going to cost us? 2,000 square foot.
First of all,
You know what I mean?
you probably agree with this too. Like I look at these new developments, these communities that are big houses jammed in to a subdivision, and these people like have $600,000-700,000 to put into it. If my budget's 700 grand, I'd rather buy 40 acres with a fucking double wide than buy this nice house and you could spit on your neighbor.
They don't
100%,
care, Terry.
bro. I don't want no neighbors. I like y'all saw my house.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to move because
Yeah.
I want to be able to go out my back door and shoot. Like I don't want anybody living next to me. I don't want
Yeah.
anybody behind me. I can't see any neighbors, but I know they're there.
Mhm.
And if they do something, I can hear it. So I'm 100%. Now, if you have $600,000 around here, you can basically buy a mansion. A $600,000 home here is probably like a $1.5 million home there.
That's wild, man.
You can get a really nice house. I mean, we have some, like you start talking about $1 million to $1.5 million house, you're talking about an 8-bedroom, estate. Like
Yeah.
you're talking about you probably with 1.5 million, you probably have a mansion on 20 acres.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
So we have what we had a lot here is farmers just selling out. So like you had, hundreds or 1,000 acres and like, how much you gonna give me? Sold. And then you just have all these, but the people that are moving down here, this economy is not built on people that live here buying these houses. The people coming down here are like, cool, a really big house. I can upgrade from where I was, or that's even a downsize from when some of these people came, but like it's on a third of a fucking acre. And we're all staring at it like, how would you have your window next to the neighbor who's got his fucking window right there, but they don't want the yard work. They don't, every time I go to someone's house, they're like, yeah, we love it. There's no yard. We don't have to cut the grass. I'm like, you're fucking out of your mind.
Or they come from legit the city.
Yeah.
And they've got
This is country to them. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, they got they're from a townhome in the city where just they're on a stoop and a sidewalk. So yeah, it can be a completely different world.
Yeah.
So I saw the other day, I think it was the day we were going to record. You fucking pushing your kids down on the kayak on the icy street.
yeah.
Dude, that
I asked if I was a bad father on that, not because I pushed him in the kayak, but because he ate it in the ditch, and then my other son was chasing him, and he fell and ate it, and I thought that was the funniest shit I'd ever seen in my life, and I was just dying laughing. And my older son is the one who was in the kayak, and he talks a lot of shit. And so when he gets hurt, it's funny.
yeah.
He talks so much shit. He's just like, I see.
Laugh. Yeah, man.
Oh no, that looked like a good time. Especially you guys, you obviously don't have sleds.
No.
So you like, I gotta find a piece of plastic or something that'll slide on some ice, and they get this little like one-man kayak
or a garbage can lid.
Yeah.
We don't get snow here. Like there's no
Right.
snow.
Yeah.
So we had another icing like this, but like Alaska, even when we do get snow. All right. So for us, snow is 3 to 4 inches that's melted by noon.
Oh,
Every time.
yeah.
So it may snow overnight, but it's gone by noon. So
Yeah.
you have that morning, and we close 2 inches of snow. We close schools. Our
Yeah.
schools are closed all week. I think we went to school Monday. We have not had school Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday because the ice.
Wow.
damn.
So
We usually start with a 2-hour delay.
yeah, we're done. Like we shut down the school for the week if there's ice.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
Mississippi has no ability to deal with anything on the roads. We have no salt. There's not a snow plow in the entire state. So if like there is snow on the roads, you're just fucked. Like, okay, we'll deal with it. And dude, the amount of people who wrecked right there. As a matter of fact, that video where I pushed him down in that sled, as
Mhm.
soon as we got done with that, somebody came down that road and wrecked right there and drove into that ditch.
Holy shit.
People around here don't know how to drive on ice. You know,
Yeah.
we don't know what the fuck we're doing. You know,
I have a good buddy of mine, friends of ours that live in South Carolina, and I go down there every year in February. Me and a couple buddies go pig hunting on his property. He comes up here. Actually, he was just here last week. Comes up here, does some waterfowl hunting. I go down there, go pig hunting. Well, 2 years ago, we're down there, and they're in the like corner of South Carolina, right near Georgia, and it's called 6 Mile, Liberty, Greenville, kind of close to Greenville. Anyway, they got like 4 inches of snow. We were at their house hanging out, having some drinks, and while we're sitting there in their little Four Season room, it's fucking coming down. I mean, like for real snow. And all right, it comes time for us to leave. Our Airbnb was like an hour away, and dude, there was, like you said, there was no plow. So and they live in pig shit county. Dude, there's fucking just, you can't see the road.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, there was a tire track in front of you to know where you're going. And this was like 11 o'clock, midnight. We're driving through and like, holy fuck, dude, how do people survive down here? Like nothing. And you're right, there's wrecks everywhere. Everybody slid down a hill, something like that. You know what I mean? And even me, I'm used to driving in it, but you can't see the road. I'm just white knuckled the whole fucking way. I think it took us like hour and 45 minutes to travel an hour. You know what I mean? But 4 inches of snow in South Carolina, and they didn't know how to act, man.
We don't. I've only seen 4 inches a couple times in my life. Insert your mom dick joke right there.
Yep, that's right.
That was,
So you lived in Mississippi your whole life.
I'm from Alabama, but same thing. You know,
Same thing.
Same thing. It's the same mud, same play.
No, I got you. So then, what in your area? It sounds like it's somewhat rural too. You talk about like the median income around your area. Like what does Jake do for fun?
for fun, I work all the time. I like, to me, work is fun. But around here, what we do, we mud ride. That's a bit hunting and mud ride.
Nice.
We go.
You got to hunt down there.
Do what?
I said, yeah, I figured you had to hunt down there.
Hunting's big, fishing's big. We live right here on the 10-time waterway, so
okay.
A lot of fishing. Personally, for me, every day is fun. So I don't have a lot of hobbies because I go to work and I do jiu-jitsu and that's fun. Or I go to work and I enjoy just going to work and working. We go to football games. College football is huge.
Yeah.
You go watch State play, go watch Alabama play. We're right in the middle between State and Alabama.
Nice.
So college football is huge here. That's really when this part of the country comes alive, is in the fall. Like this part of the country, like that's when shit's popping, is between mid-August to November. That's when things are really popping off. As far as like stuff to do, like commercialized stuff to do, there's really not anything. We got a bowling alley.
That's not the fun shit anyway.
Right, like mud riding sounds pretty good.
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of that around here. We have friends that do that, but they travel to it. Like they'll go to the Hatfield McCoy trails or somewhere up in Maine or something like that. We have a number of friends that have side by sides but they travel to go. Like there's no place around here to do that.
A lot of people around here just go in their truck.
Oh, really?
I don't do that. I've got a full drive, but I don't, because I'm not putting my my King's Ranch in the mud. Like I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
No.
We don't have enough mud. We just have marsh. So if you fucking sink your truck in the marsh, you're fucking done. Like they ain't going nowhere. That's done.
So what do you have? You have a Can-Am or something like that?
No, we just like, well, I mean, I've got one, like my parents have one, I use theirs, but usually what I'll do is I usually have a spare truck that I'll put right in. So I'll have I had a Dodge. I sold it a while back now. So I don't have anything I'm riding in that I motor ride in right now. But I'll buy, like you'll go buy you a truck for like $3,000 with some mud tires on, just sink it. and it's a piece of shit when you're done with it.
I always see like online like that. Like what you're talking about, everybody like a big party, the fucking mud pit, all the big cars. I'm like, fuck, man, I want to go to one of those.
Yeah, that looks fun.
Yeah, we did not have that here. We
I've never
had
done the party, but like I mean, even like all right. So if you're let's say you're a high, this is what you do in high school. Let's say you're a high school kid, right? And you've got a 4-wheel drive truck, and you're looking for something to do with yeah, I'll take one. You're looking for something to do on Saturday night with your girl, where you go mud riding because you might get stuck. And that's
Yeah.
kind of
Oops.
oops.
as a 17-year-old boy on a. That's why my daughter ain't going mud riding. You know what I mean? Same thing with hunting. I don't want my daughter going hunting with her boyfriend because
Yeah.
I know that move. Okay, yes, it's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're in a deer stand with a heater, and
Yeah.
it's still dark outside. Like, bro, who you You
Man,
ever
it goes from deer hunting. It goes from deer hunting to finger stuff real quick.
real fast. If you're lucky, you get the finger stuff. Like
Dude, I took my wife on a 4-wheeler ride one time when we were like first dating, and she talked to Pam, his wife, and she was like, "Yeah, Tom took me on a 4-wheeler ride," and Pam was like, "Oh yeah, I've been on plenty of 4-wheeler rides too." You know what I mean?
you guys trail ride your 4-wheelers. You have trails and stuff.
It's so fucking flat here, man. It's like and any land is probably already state land, so you can't ride your 4-wheeler there. So for us, I mean, unless
We
someone
ride our
has the
shit
land already,
all the time. Fuck the popo. Like
yeah. That's how this town used to be. When we used to rip dirt bikes, we used to rip them everywhere. They used to, in the town of Clayton, used to have a Bronco 4-wheel drive that they would chase us through like the tree farms and shit on. You know what I mean? I'd kick it down to third gear, get all the dust going and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
So we have state land or county land that is like is the designated mud riding spot for everybody in the county.
Okay.
So we all go down the Luxapalala River, and they have roads that they went in and built in. But you better have a for real 4-wheel drive, because all the guys with for real 4-wheel drives went down there and hollered all the holes out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's deep. Like, you got some spots, if you're just in a regular 4-wheel drive truck, you're not getting through there. Like, you have to be lifted. You need a lifted.
Yeah, we do not have that here.
I had to go pull out a buddy of mine that was stuck in a field 2 days ago. He calls me and goes, "Hey, are you around? I got the truck stuck." They were going around our deer club, and they were putting corn in front of some deer stands, and we're like getting towards the end of the season, whatever. And he's like, "I went the wrong way. I buried my truck." Like, I'm talking out in the middle of like hundreds of acres, like this way the fuck out there off the road, and on the Watson farm off of Duck Creek.
Okay.
And he said, "But don't worry, CJ is going to get his truck. He's going to pull me out. But just in case he can't do it, if you're nearby, I have a Ford F-150, small lift, little bit big tires, right? 32s, whatever, 3-inch lift." Okay, cool, no problem. 10 minutes later, he calls me, he goes, "Yeah, CJ got stuck too." So I had 2 trucks were fucking buried. And I'm like, "You motherfuckers, now you're going to drag me into this." So I went out there, I pulled the first guy out, or the guy that was supposed to pull the original guy out, got him out, no problem. Then we had to go to Smyrna Hardware, Tractor Supply, and Southern States to buy 90 feet of tow strap. We had 3 30-foot tow straps from my truck to get to his truck, so I didn't get stuck. And then slingshotted that bastard out of he had it buried to the running boards, like he was all the way in, and had to get him out. So thankfully, third time was a charm. But yeah, because the next step was to find somebody with a tractor to get him the fuck out. This bottom was so wet, the farmer just left the crops there. The farmer didn't even harvest the crops that were there because he couldn't get his combine through it because it was so wet. My buddy thought, well, it's been 17 degrees for 3 days. It'll be frozen. But underneath that snow, the snow is just an insulation, just keeping the ground from freezing. So he busted through the crust and just fucking sank, dude. But yeah, that was fun. But it's nice because, we create this life of how we work and make our money, that we have the freedom to do shit like that.
Yeah.
To go run around on farms, and I'm available. And going back to what you said, like, you like your day to day, your work, you enjoy it, right? And I'm sure that was very intentional of you, right? To create this life. Nothing is by fucking accident.
Yeah. 100%. I set out. I do want to be rich. More importantly, because your life is never going to be sitting on a beach in Barbados. You know what I mean? Your life is never. I mean, unless you just sell a company for $1 billion or something, your life is never going to be sitting on a beach in Costa Rica every day. You'll do that sometimes. Your life is what you do every day. And so I want to make sure that I set my life up so that when I don't ever want to go to bed Sunday night dreading tomorrow. I don't ever like I remember when I did that when I had a job, and I'll never have a job again if I can help it, where I have to go in and punch a time clock and hate my day. Why hate Monday through Friday and then live for Saturday and Sunday? That's stupid.
You ever just talk to people that just say like, I hate when they fucking say that stuff. Like I'll go to like Lowe's to get some supplies and I'll be like, how you doing? Like, it's another Monday. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. The fuck kind of life you you could quit, Get the fuck out of here.
Go do some other shit. Well, I gotta pay the bills. Pay some, bro. It's like you were saying earlier. It's 2024. There's so many ways to pay the bills, dude. There's so many ways to pay the bills. You don't have to hate life. Life doesn't have to suck. So I get up in the morning and occasionally I have to do some shit I don't want to do. But I mean, that's just life. Every once in a while, you got to go patch a water line or, do some shit here and there. But for the most part, I get materials to the guys on the job site. I go look at properties. I put offers in on houses. I go teach jujitsu. I go teach, MMA. I go spend time with my kids. Whatever, I do everything on my terms. Like today, today is Friday. Most people should be at work, but here we are
Friday,
doing a podcast.
Yeah. I can't wait to fucking plow snow today. Like I love that shit. It's a time that I just get to sit in my truck, do a little reflection, and for me, it's so much easier than the stuff I do inside of basements or other remodels where I'm like, all I gotta do is fucking push some snow around. Like, this is easy fucking money.
And when you were a kid, you would love to just play in the snow.
Yeah, it's all you do. I'm getting to fucking play, dude. I'm going around cars and shit like just pushing snow around and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you just never know. So, what is speaking of the future, what's the future look like for your gym? Like, what's your goals with your gym now?
Honestly, I've sort of dialed back where I'm trying to get with the gym because I was trying to create this multi-location, huge thing. And now it's more about building my lifestyle out. So like for me, I want to be able to train. I want my kids to be able to train. I want to have a really solid competition team, fight team. I want to do what I want to do with it. And, for a long time, because I've been doing this for a living. I went out on my own when I was 20. I'm 33 now. So for about 12 years, it was my only source of income and put a lot of pressure on it and almost kind of ruined it a little bit. Mm-hmm. Where it's I'm now it's all about, every month you got to make your nut again. Now we got this new goal. We got to go hit this number. And so for me, I want to start promoting again because I've promoted a little bit, done shows where, you promote and, put a fight card together. And, I'd like to get back to that in the near future. But honestly, it's all about the tribe for me. It's all about, I want to continue to create a tribe of like-minded guys who push themselves, that want to learn how to fight, that are trying to make their bodies better, trying to get in better shape, trying to take care of ourselves, trying to take care of our mind and our mindset, and cultivate those relationships to help push us all to be better. That's what the gym is it's not a Planet Fitness. It's not even like a traditional gym model. It's a tribe of mostly guys, mostly older guys, in their 30s and up, that are devoted to greatness, that are devoted to, getting up in the morning and working out, and then in the evening doing jujitsu and striking and competing. And that's what it is for me. For me, it's, the connections we make are the most important things in our life a lot of time. Like the reason I want to have money is so I can help more people and so I can provide more opportunities to people that are important to me, and so I can cultivate those relationships and help more people. And so for me, that's what the gym is. The gym for me is a way for me to pour into people, a way for me to invest in people, a way for me to give back to people. Of course, I do get paid, or the gym gets paid, but for me, it's more about I want to provide opportunities for young fighters that maybe want a job and want to be able to pursue this path and this career. I want to be able to really teach people and help people become the best version of themselves. And a couple of things. Number one, you cannot be the best version of yourself if you're a giant, fat, obese piece of shit.
Yep.
You can't do it. You can't be a couch potato eating fucking Cheetos with Cheeto dust on your fingers, and you can't do a push up. You're not a complete person. I'm not saying that you're a bad person, but you're not living your life to your fullest potential.
Yeah.
You're not living your life to your fullest potential. You're not being everything you can be if you can't fight. If you can't hold your own in a fight, you're not a fucking man if you can't fight. I'm sorry. Like you're not. You need I want to help people with that. And I want to instill mindset into my students too. So for me, changing the way people think is huge. It's what my podcast is about too. We cut up, we talk shit, but one thing you got to remember is your life is not just the moments that are happening to you. It's the perception of the moments that are happening to you. Yeah. How do you perceive? Like it's amazing how you can see take two kids and they grow up in the same household, and one of them, maybe their dad was a little bit of a piece of shit. Maybe he was, whatever. And maybe, and the other one had the same experience. One of them can leave that situation like, hey, you know what? I had a tough childhood, but that shit made me unfucking stoppable. It made me unbreakable. I can go out in the world now. It's nothing but up from here. You can't make me quit. I understand hardship. I'm not afraid of hardship. I'm not afraid of suffering. I'm not afraid of pain. And then another kid, it'll completely break and they go on the rest of their life, living their life like they're a victim. And so, and all that is mindset. All that is perception and mindset around what happened to you. Cause we all go through horrible shit. It's happened to all of us. Every single person's got a story. Everybody's got some shit. But one of the things that I think the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA teaches you is learning to be comfortable in that nightmare, learning to be comfortable, because you got to be able to perform and you got to be able to get in a situation where it sucks and you pay me to put you in it, where life sucks for moments at a time. And you got to just, okay, let me back up. Let me take a deep breath and let me just start running the technique. Let me just, same thing with wrestling or boxing or whatever. Let me, instead of sitting here and being broken and quitting, let me just back up and start reverse engineering and getting out of this shitty situation, getting to a better spot where I can take a breath. Let me get somewhere better, and that's something that I think combat sports teaches better than anything else is the art of, and wrestling is probably one of the best examples of this. When you said your son wrestled, I was like, that's fucking awesome, because wrestling teaches that. And if you're willing to apply it to the rest of your life, wrestling teaches, okay, I'm in a shit situation. This kid's on top of me. He's strong as hell. He's tough. I'm losing the match. I can sit here. I can feel sorry for myself. I can be a piece of shit. I can be a pussy, or I can take a deep breath and I can just start getting to a better spot. Let me just take it one step at a time, run the techniques that I know to run, and try to improve position. And that's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about even just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is because you've got, it's the same thing really. It's very similar to wrestling. It's just it's more submission based and one's more pin based. And that's really what I want to teach people. So when you talk about, okay, what's the vision for the gym? At one time, my vision for the gym was I wanted to do 50 grand a month. Like that's what I wanted. At a time, it was more than that. Like I want to do 100 grand a month, but it used to be like 50 grand a month. To me now, I don't really take a paycheck from my gym anymore. I've kind of moved the real estate sort of pays all the bills, and that's how I make my living now. For me, how many people can I help? How much of this mentality, of this mindset can I instill in the rest of the world? How much of this mentality and this mindset can I instill in young people and, young guys coming up, and give them every opportunity that I can to make them successful. And that's what it's about for me.
I love that, man. And that's very much like, if we had a mission, right? very similar to ours, and it's why you coach too, right? Whether you coach MMA or you coach athletes. I'm a CrossFit coach. I do that every week. Um, coach youth football. He helps out the high school football team. Because you have that, like, here's my opportunity to make this generation better, right? And my wife's an educator, and both of our wives are teachers. Mine's in high school, his is in a intermediate school. And as frustrating as like teaching can be, like I always try to remind her, like, you have an opportunity to, like, we do a good job of raising our kids. Do our best at raising our kids. You also have an opportunity to help these other shitheads, maybe see things a different way, right? Maybe like, help guide them. They might have a shit home life. They might have really piece of shit parents and who come from whatever. And like, you're in a position to like help this generation. The generation that's got these problems. You're in a spot that you can help these kids out. You know what I mean? And as somewhat fucked up as our educational system can be sometimes, and a tough spot the teachers are in, there's also a lot you could do a lot with it. Your platform. Same reason why we coach, same reason why you coach, and your mission we are gym, because we have a duty to our generations that are our kids, right? So no, I think that's phenomenal, man. So before we jump off, I know like everybody's got a busy day today. What
Ready to go to lunch. That's why I'm looking at my phone. She's blowing me up because I had to go steal her car to get here. So she's
oh
ready.
Christ.
Oh yeah. mine's blowing up. Probably trying to figure out where the fuck you plowing at.
So
Like,
well, look real quick, man. Your podcast, Man Up, is awesome. I've listened to a couple episodes. I love your dudes that you're on. Like, you can tell you guys are friends. You look like you have a fucking blast on that podcast. So I really hope to see that like take off, man. Yeah, so we'll wrap it up, dude. Jake, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I hope this isn't the last time we chat.
do you bring people onto your show?
We do. Yeah. I was going to say that we don't do a whole lot of Zoom calls, but I might do one with you guys if we can.
Yeah, we'd like to. Yeah, we'd like to. Yeah, because we always do the interview. It'd be nice to just get on other shows and just be a little
The
more loose.
most fun.
Nah, dude. Well, look, man. Hopefully we can make that happen. I appreciate you coming on today, though.
What are you saying?
I was just going to say that like coming on somebody else's show is the most fun shit ever because you don't have the pressure of keeping the conversation going as much. You can just, and on our show, we don't do interviews. We just take a few shots and have a couple of drinks and we just kick it. So I'm a terrible interviewer.
Well, we should schedule a time for us. We'll do a Zoom onto yours.
Well, here,
boys,
or we could take it one step further. We could do that, but I'm not opposed just to going to fucking Mississippi for like 2 days.
Hell yeah.
I'll come right down to Mississippi.
Look, I'll come. We'll get in the ring. I'll let you beat me up, like your girls' boyfriends. That would be pretty fun, though, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's set it up.
So, all right, dude. Well, look, man, I'll let you get to your day, brother. If you ever need anything, man, just let us know. All right.
So same to you guys.
All right. Thanks, dude.
I'll see y'all.